Here we got three teams coming in at the A: Kansas City, Tampa Bay, and Washington. The B and the C tiers are pretty full up. Yeah, it kind of looks like we took the easy road out, but we put a lot of thought and effort into where the placements go here. And then you got the D tier, which could have some potential one-off players, and then the F tier, which you could find a one-off player, but you might want to sit this one out, and that's the Titans, Broncos, Panthers, and the Raiders.
Welcome to DFS Insights. I'm David Grant Jr. I'm joined here by my cousin and co-host David G. We're here to cover the NFL main slate on DraftKings and even more specifically the Milli-maker. So we're here to help hopefully give you some insights to becoming the next millionaire. So hey David, how did your week one DFS lineups fare with all the craziness that did happen here in week number one?
Pretty good. As far as the Millie Maker, didn't do too hot. Got hit with a couple injuries, so lineups took a hit there. Had pretty successful on single game and showdown. So overall, about even, broke even. So nothing to write home about. What about you?
Yeah, same here. Pretty much broke even. I did do better on some of the more single game, like you mentioned, showdown stuff. But again, as we get more data and get deeper into the season, and we're able to, have more data to analyze on these teams, it was pretty crazy. A lot of injuries in week one. I don't know what was something's in the water in all
Yeah,
these
some
places or
yeah.
something. But yeah, man, definitely excited here for week number two. We're diving in here. It looks like the first game here we got the New Orleans Saints, who, man, Derek Carr, I think was one of the leading fantasy players overall. I believe he was in the optimal lineup, going to the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys looks like they are favored here by 6 points. They got a projected point total of 46 and a half. What are your thoughts here on the Saints traveling to Dallas?
Yeah, so it looks like we have we're going to give our tiers list here as well, to kind of go along with how we're doing this. So we got Dallas coming in at a B rank here, and we have the Saints coming in at a C. We're doing these tiers based on stackability, ownership, matchup, and just overall playability aspect. Keep in mind, ones in D and F, categories D and F. You can still use those players maybe as a single or running solo kind of thing. So, but yeah, Dallas coming in at B, Saints coming in at C. Uh, Dallas looks pretty good. Going against the Browns. I always keep hearing all the shows, podcasts, and everything that I listen to and watch that, oh, Browns defense is number one. They were so good last year. Last year doesn't matter. Like it does not matter.
Yep.
Yes, you can use that as a frame of reference, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate over to this year. Browns got destroyed. Deshaun Watson can't keep his defense on the sideline to get rest. So Browns aren't looking too hot right now until Deshaun Watson can get himself in a groove, give his defense some time to rest over there so they can, get back to that level they were last year. So until I see
Yeah.
that, Browns are coming in here, looking, um, you know, Browns are right now 61,
Uh,
66. So Dallas showed them up. Saints are right now 63 and 67, so about the same.
so,
So I think Dallas is going to probably have another good game. Dallas does have weapons. However, keep in mind the salary for Dallas players, Dak, CeeDee Lamb, and such, are fairly high. So, maybe a one stack with Dak and, CeeDee Lamb or another one of his receivers there. And then on the other side of the ball, I like the Saints. You can do a double stack with even Kamara. I like Kamara because he does catch passes. DraftKings rewards pass catching running backs quite a bit with that 1 point. That's basically 10 yards rushing. It just a running back catching the ball once. And then you can, Chris Olave is coming in pretty cheap this matchup, and Derek Carr showed pretty good. So I like that too. It's just Dallas has a slightly better defense, so that's why I put him down in the C.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think I will be using some more of the New Orleans Saints side, particularly as some one-offs, just because of the salary savings you are getting there. And again, I understand Dallas does have a slightly better defense. Um, you know, but yeah, I'm with you on that. Moving on to looks like we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're traveling over to the Detroit Lions, and this is definitely one of the better games on the slate. We got a projected point total of 51.5, which is the highest projected point total. There is a 7.5 point spread here, which is the second highest spread. I find that pretty interesting because Baker Mayfield in week one did show up and show out, and I get that he's going up against a team that they're not Super Bowl or bust, but that is their aspirations right now, and Detroit is definitely looking really good. Man, it's again, Detroit has a lot of weapons, kind of like the 49ers do on offense. We have this the sorry, the Lions ranked here as a B. I think that that's definitely a fair assessment with them. And as far as the Buccaneers go, we got them at the A level. And again, that definitely has to do with the salaries of the people on the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely see some stacking of even just this entire game. To be honest, I could see it just yeah, I like the salaries of some people on here, like Jahmyr Gibbs at running back. He's only 6,600. Montgomery's also another man. Their 1-2 punch there at running back is one of the toughest in the league. I love watching both of those guys play. And then obviously at quarterback with Jared Goff. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. So I like the matchup. I like some of the prices on here. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, no, I agree. Nothing too much to add. It does come down to Tampa's the salary there, and Baker Mayfield's weapons, ranging from Evans to Godwin, everybody basically. Now, hopefully, he has another showing. The run defense for Detroit showed up. Coming in about 71.7. This is just based on one game. Keep in mind, so they do have a pretty solid run defense. I mean, but Tampa Bay throws the ball 63% of the time, it looks like here. And Detroit, even last year, people reference last year, their secondary is weak. However, they did, kind of shore it up a little bit, draft picks and such, and acquirements through free agency. So they looked a little bit better. However, it's still, the cohesion still needs to get there. So, yeah, I like this. This is probably going to be the most stacked out of everything with the highest point total. So keep that in mind. They will be high owned. So,
Yeah.
yeah, moving on down here to I'll take this one over. My Green Bay Packers here. Colts coming into Lambeau. They're coming in as the 2.5 favorites. Obviously, Jordan Love's out. Well, excuse me, he's questionable. He should be out, and he better be out. This is as a Green Bay fan. Yeah, you better not risk him to come back, a week after playing like with the MCL injury. So give him at least a week or two to at least give the illusion that he tried to heal. There.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Green Bay, I don't know how I'm going to really approach this game. Richardson coming in with the Colts. I don't know really who I would stack him with. What is it? I think he has like Palmer. Didn't really do. Who does he have? Pittman, excuse me, 6,600. He only got 7 fantasy points last time. Pierce ended up being the one to get there. He came in with about 24.5 fantasy points at 4,000 salary. So will he have another game? Green Bay's defense looked okay. The run defense again is atrocious. So if anything, Jonathan Taylor maybe, but at 7,800, I can find better value there. So I might not even play him. And then on Green Bay, I am I really going to stack anybody with Malik Willis? I don't know too much data with him. I mean, however,
Yeah.
and now Jordan Reed's on the questionable, so he might not play. Uh, so yeah, no, I might be very low owned on this matchup. So oh,
Yeah.
sorry. So we have Colts coming in at the C tier, Green Bay coming in.
Right.
It hurts me to say the D tier.
Yeah. The only thing I'm going to add to that is that I think Jacobs that you guys acquired from the Raiders, he didn't really have quite the game I thought he was going to have in week one. So he might just be getting adjusted to the new system and everything. But you can definitely count that Green Bay is going to be running the ball a lot, as your quarterback is not great. So if you're going to have a chance to win this game, it's going to be on Josh Jacobs' shoulders. And I believe in him. I think he's a phenomenal running back. So I think he does a lot better than what he did in week one, where he only had 12.4 fantasy
Yeah.
points. So, yeah, unfortunately, your team has a couple big injuries. So it'll be maybe finding some of the backup lower owned guys to put in there as some one offs is
Yeah.
what I would do.
All right,
So
yeah,
yeah,
moving here
no,
to oh god, ex Green Bay quarterback Aaron Rodgers, Jets Titans coming into New York, 3.5 favorites. Jets are actually favored by 3.5 here, so I don't even know how to approach this game. Rodgers looked terrible, but it was the 49ers, and that seems to be kryptonite for him. Knowing this for every year we played him in the playoffs, Green Bay, he just couldn't figure out how to score on them. So maybe give him a pass here, but at the same time, there is value there on the Jets. We do have him at the C. Rodgers, I believe, is only, I believe, about 5,900. Yeah, 5,900. So he could be hooking up with, Wilson. Lazard looked like, returned to him former self. He with Rodgers there. So that could be a potential double stack and, a cheap double stack and against the Titans, who we have at the F tier. And I would not play
yeah,
probably anybody. Potentially a run back with the running back from the Titans, but they're with Pollard. I could see that maybe, but I don't trust Will Levis to throw to anybody, and the Jets cover their DBs are top notch, so I don't trust that. So if I did do a run back in that game, if I stacked that game, it would be the running back for the Titans.
yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. And I think the Jets do have a bounce back game here. I mean, this should be a gimme. I think Brees Hall, he did have 19 fantasy points at this, at against the 49ers. So that's nothing to sneeze at. And now he's going against the Titans that have only a 46, run defense rating. So it's one of the lower ones on here as a matchup. So he could definitely have a field day here. Other than that, you know, I don't see a whole lot here. So,
Nice.
I'll go ahead and take this next one here. We got the San Francisco 49ers traveling to the Minnesota Vikings. And, you know, we got the 49ers here at the B tier. We got the Vikings also at the B tier. I the reason they're not an A tier is because as far as the 49ers go, is there's just so many weapons on their offense to choose from. It's like who's going to get it today? Ayuk, obviously he held out all offseason, so he looked a little rusty. He dropped a potential TD pass. He only had a couple of targets, and we didn't have Christian McCaffrey. We are looking to he's got tendonitis of the Achilles, and that is not good at all. So I'm not. We proved that we can win without him. Again, we're stacked on offense. The issue is who's gonna dominate. So I This would be a good game to stack. It should be one of the, it's not one of the top scoring ones. It's 46.5, but it's there in the middle. It's not off by much. Put it that way. And I could see this game either being a shootout. 49ers favored by 5. I think I think we win by 10, but that's just me. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, I like more the Minnesota side as a stackability because they're cheaper. Sam Darnold is really cheap, and then you have Jefferson and such, to stack with that. On that side, 49ers, their stack is a lot more expensive, and you can do a run back if you want to get super chalky. I guarantee you Mason is going to be probably the most owned running back. I think the projections I saw are about 40% or so. He's 5,200, and he's going to be the starting running back for the 49ers. He's not Christian McCaffrey, so he's basically, his ceiling games are going to be heavily reliant on touchdowns. He wasn't really involved in the pass game like Christian McCaffrey was, so he's going to be fully reliant on touchdowns. I can also see Deebo Samuel being a really good play as like the run back to a Minnesota stack because Deebo will probably also be in the run game, and he looks like Purdy and him are having better connection. Ayuk looked like he got paid and just checked out. He missed a touchdown pass. He missed a few passes. Now, obviously, it's week 1. He didn't have a camp, this, that, and the other. But that it is what it is. So,
But before we move on, I do like the stack. Hey, Sam Darnold was on the 49ers last season, so he does know a little bit of what's going on over there. And at 5,200, stacking him with Justin Jefferson isn't a bad idea, thinking they're going to be down in the fourth quarter and they're going to need to throw the ball and needing to be doing something. And just so everyone knows, Jordan Mason did not just come out of nowhere. If you're a diehard 49er fan, we all know that this dude
yeah.
is the real deal and he will get targets. I promise you in this he's going to get some other receptions because that is a big deal when you're slating
Yeah,
your running back
I,
here. So
I don't I
uh,
don't think I think I'll be, if I have him, I'll be way lower on. I'll be like
just
50.
because because of the high ownership, I would understand the lower, not fading him, but being under the
So
field on him. So
yeah, no. So yeah, 49ers, yeah, B tier, and also Minnesota B tier. So moving on here to Seattle versus Patriots. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can skip this one. No, Seattle coming in at the D tier, Patriots also at the D tier. I think the only thing I don't see myself doing a Geno stack at all. I do not see myself at all stacking, the Patriots in any way, shape, or form. Jacoby Brissett, probably pass. I might find myself using
Stevenson.
Stevenson as a one-off in that game, but that's about it. I have nothing else to
Yep.
say about this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this is a low scoring affair. Obviously, yeah, the lowest one projected on the slate, and I would only be using any of these people as a one off. And I do have New England winning this game for whatever that's worth as an underdog here. So I think that they are going to beat Seattle. So anyway, yeah, moving on to the New York Giants at the Washington Commanders. We got this is going to be a close game. 1.5 point spread. Point total projected here at 43. That's not great, but that's not terrible. We got Washington, coming in here as an A tier, which I fully agree with. And we got the Giants coming in at the C tier, which I also agree with. This type of matchup is great because when it's that razor thin, it's going to be a close game. It could be a high scoring game, higher than what it's projected at. That I could definitely see that happening. This is a Sunday morning game here. I like what Washington's doing. I Jaden Daniels, the new quarterback for Washington, he looked great in week 1, 28 fantasy points, and he's still only 6,200. I mean, that's a steal if you ask me. Going against the Giants. What are your thoughts here on this matchup?
Yeah, I like Jaden Daniels. It looks like he did get the two running touchdowns there. So people I think maybe lost confidence in McLaurin there, but I could see definitely a stack with Jaden McDaniels because he has that. It looks like he does have that run potential. McLaurin, we all know he is a good receiver, so he does need to get on the same page. With the 5,700 McLaurin, 6,200 Jaden McDaniels, that's not too bad.
Yes.
Previous ownership 8% last week for Jaden Daniels and 17 for McLaurin. I can actually see Jaden probably be slightly higher, McLaurin being a lot lower there. As far as the Giants, I can also see a stack there with oh my God, what's his name? Daniels.
Um, um,
Jesus. Daniel
sorry,
Jones.
I thought
Daniel
you.
Jones. Yeah. Oh my
Oh
God.
yeah,
Blanked that for a second. I should know
Danny
him.
Dimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually picked him up in my year-long fantasy because Love went out and because I do like this matchup. There's stackability here. 5,300 quarterback. He has Malik Nabers, Wendell Robertson, Slayton. You can even maybe get Hyatt in there. Nabers ended up with about 12 fantasy points. Robertson 12 fantasy points. Daniel Jones 5. But Washington doesn't not the best. So this game could either be field goals only, or it could be a 50-50 game, like a 50-point game, like because they're both kind of terrible defenses, and then they just have a throwout with each other. So this could be a maker. Like this game could either really probably boost people up high up on that leaderboard, or this is the game that's going to sink your lineup. If you stack it and it's one of those field goal games, you're going to be at the bottom. But if it's one of those shootout games, I guarantee you will be you will be in the top. Um, Obviously based on how your other players pan out, but you'll be setting yourself up to be very successful. So
And I did just want to point out, I forgot just that real quick. Jaden Daniels, the quarterback for the Commanders, he had 37 pass attempts. It's just that he had 16 rushing attempts, for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, he was throwing the ball a lot and running a lot. It was like I'd argue a one-man show, which obviously teams are going to be defending that a little bit better going forward. It doesn't look like the Giants defend against the run at all. And then the Commanders, they don't defend against the pass at all. So should be an interesting matchup.
yeah.
Definitely some great fantasy selection players from there. So yeah, moving on.
Another one that we can probably skip: Chargers versus Panthers. We have Chargers coming in at the C, and the C tier, Panthers at the F tier. I wouldn't stack anybody from the Panthers at all. Bryce Young looks freaking terrible. I don't care if you try to justify that he was a potential first round, this, that. No, dude looks terrible. Like, let's just put it what it is. Yes, he doesn't have the cast behind him. I understand that, but dude. And then Chargers, Herbert, it maybe look good, but I just, and I'm only putting him really up there in the C tier because they're going against the Panthers, and the potential there to have a blowout in favor of the Chargers is there. But other than that, Hermert Palmer, like, the salary there, it works. Like, 5,800 for Herbert, 5,100 or so, 5,000 for Palmer, but it's just not very good. So that's why they're at the C, because the salary makes it okay, the matchup makes it okay, ownership makes it okay, but I just don't like it.
Yeah, this is just unfortunately some bad football on heavily on one side, and the Chargers are wishy-washy, and it's just tough. So yeah, I'm with you. I'll be for the most part avoiding this game.
All right.
So
Yeah. So nice.
yeah,
Yeah. If you made it this far in the video, make sure hit that like, subscribe,
right.
notification bell. As we're going through here, looks like we got 5 left here. Trying to keep this as short as possible, so you don't have to listen to us talk for 2-3 hours. you guys just want, I know you want the information and start making them lineups. So let's get back to it. Next up on the thing here, we got Jaguars, Browns at Jacksonville, the Jaguars. So it looks like Jaguars are coming in at the favorites, 3-point favorites. This is what I'm saying. Browns defense does not look good. Now, whether that's their fault or it's their offense's fault for not giving them time to rest, I don't care. They don't look good. Jacksonville, they do have a pretty decent offense. They're passing the ball about 65% of the time. Their defense also isn't that good, but I'm not afraid of Deshaun Watson. He looks terrible. He got paid, so good on him. Can't hate him for that. But I don't think I would stack any Brown. I can maybe see playing Ford as a one-off there. And as far as the Jaguars we have as a B tier, Browns as a D, and I could see a Lawrence stack, coming in, even with potentially Etienne as a back. You got Kurt, you got Gabe Davis. They all look pretty good there. So I could see that. I would definitely be leaning here Jaguars over anything from the Browns. Maybe playing forward in a one-off situation.
Yep, I fully agree with everything you said. I'm staying away from the Browns, and if there's any stack at all, it would be with Jacksonville. I did go ETN in week one. Unfortunately, he fumbled the ball a couple times, but he's still one of my favorite running backs in the league and to watch play. So I think he has a bounce back performance here. And again, in week one, the Jaguars had that game in the bag against Miami, and Miami, the pass interference here, they made a miraculous comeback in the final 5 minutes of the game. So they could right now Jacksonville could be sitting at 1-0. Unfortunately, they are 0-1 going against the Browns. So yeah, I'm with you on that. So we can keep it moving. We got the Las Vegas Raiders visiting the Baltimore Ravens. We got this as the highest spread at -8.5 for the Baltimore Ravens. The point total coming in here 41.5. Again, not great, but not terrible. What are your thoughts here on this matchup?
I don't really like it. I have the Ravens as a C tier. I have the Raiders as an F tier. Minshew, he has the potential maybe to do a 300 game, maybe. Raiders do have some maybe single target. I would look, Adams and Renfro and even their tight ends are not bad, but it's just Minshew, is there always a potential that he has a great game? Yes, but I don't see it. Especially Ravens have a pretty decent defense. It's coming in at about 51 on the pass, so I could see maybe Minshew lighten it up a little bit, but that might be the play. If you're going to be super, risky and your risk tolerance is there. I just see a lot better stacks for probably the same ownership and value than the Raiders. As far as the Ravens go, the salary's just too much. Lamar's at 7,700, Henry's at 6,700, and I think they're going to vulture each other's touchdowns. Henry's not a big pass catcher. Can he catch passes? Yes, but he's not a huge one. So if he's rushing touchdown, Lamar's not getting those rush touchdowns. And if Lamar's getting them, Derrick Henry's not getting them. As far as Lamar Jackson, I was really hoping the rumors were true. He was going to be more of a throwing quarterback, so that would bump up the potential for Flowers, Bateman, Aguilar, and such. Likely was the one that got the performance of the freaking week. So there's potential there, but at the same time, does Mark Andrew step back up into that role? There's a lot of pieces there that you can make. It's just very expensive, and I see a lot better options. This is a low scoring game, and the spreads is really high. I see better value elsewhere, so that's why I kind of kept the Ravens in the C and not higher. Maybe they're like a C plus ish.
Plus. Yep, I fully agree with that. The again, the Ravens are just priced too high for the most part, and they also, as you mentioned, they do have a lot of weapons, and I think they're still figuring out how they're going to be using them. I know that they were running quite a few sets of two tight ends out there at once, and like you said, it's they kind of eat into each other. So Derrick Henry, yeah, it's just they're priced too high and it's too volatile as to who is going to do what at this point in the season until we, all right, I feel like until we're 4, 5, 6 games in and see how they're approaching these games, can we justify the salary and what our expectations are with what the fantasy point projections are going to be? So,
Nice.
yep, I'm with you on that.
All right.
Moving on.
Yeah. Moving on here. What do you think? Cardinals, Rams.
Yeah, Cardinals Rams, it's coming in as tied for the second highest scoring here. The Rams, it's a divisional game, so that's definitely big. It's a 1 point spread. We do have we got the Cardinals at the B tier and we got the Rams here at the B tier. I I agree with both of that. This is a big divisional game. The Cardinals lost in week 1. I'm 99% sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like they got the game stolen from them at the end. Yeah, because they played Dallas. Uh, so yeah, I
No,
could see
Dallas played.
targeting.
Dallas played Browns.
Or yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I pulled up the wrong one. But anyway, this is a great game to target. The salaries here are decent. We got Kyler Murray at 6,600, and we got Stafford. Oh, he's not up near the top. That's yeah. Oh, at 6,000. Yeah, give me Stafford at 6,000 all day against Arizona. I know their pass defense is
Yep.
looking pretty good after week 1. It is up there at 80. But if there's anyone that could do something, it would be Stafford. He's not afraid to throw the ball, throw it deep. He's just known around the league as one of the top guys. So I do like the matchup. What are your thoughts here on this matchup?
Yeah, no, I like it. I think that it might be probably one of the higher owned ones. You got Stafford. Cup is probably going to be one of the highest owned receivers. With Puka being out now,
That's right.
Cup's going to be,
Yeah.
probably the most targeted. He was used to getting 10 to 12, 15 targets a game there. So the potential for him, that's a point every time he catches it just on that alone. And he's only at 7,600. So he had 35 fantasy points
Yeah.
last
On,
week.
on
So
how many targets? How many targets do you think he had? I'm looking at it right now.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
insane. He had 21 targets
yeah.
after because Puka went out before
That's what I'm
halftime.
saying. So
So
he's going to
I
be
because
incredibly owned. So
yeah,
the stack there is
yeah.
good. Murray, the value at the Cardinals have is also good. He has Harrison Jr., Dortch. There's Zay Jones even. But I think I might be leaning more towards the Ram stack, and then maybe coming to back with Connor, James Connor, running back there. So yeah,
Nice. Yep, that's fair. I like that assessment. So we got 2 games left here to cover, and we're looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Denver. We got again these last 3 games all have the same projected point total here at 47.5. This game's coming in at a 2.5 point spread. That I find that a little surprising because I think the Steelers, I guess the Steelers aren't that much better than the Broncos, but nonetheless, you know, I do have Pittsburgh taking this game. We got the Steelers coming in at the C tier, and we got the Broncos coming in as an F tier. Very fair there. So, there might be some one-off players on Denver to target, but their offense is atrocious and a mess. And Pittsburgh, ah, uh, you know, Pittsburgh's gonna is also going to dial up the defense. I mean, I know that that's what they're always known for. I could see some field goals quite a bit here in this game. So if you're looking for a kicker, maybe I guess that's more FanDuel. Then then that might be a way to target that. But how are you approaching this game?
not.
Yeah,
Just I'm just gonna
that's
leave it
fair.
there. I'm
Yeah,
not. I'm not.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
nothing that I could see that I would be interested really in.
yeah.
I think the point. I think the implied 47.5. I don't know. I think that's a typo.
Yeah,
I think they might
yeah.
have hit
Like,
37.5. But that's just me.
yeah,
I don't.
30 bad
Justin
football.
Field, Justin Fields, Bo Nix. I mean, okay, sure.
Yep. No. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so now probably the most owned, stacked, everything. Everybody's waiting for this one. Kansas City Bengals. Kansas City coming at the favorites, 5.5 points. 47.5 point spread there. So Kansas City's defense didn't look that great. Run defense 54, pass defense 64. Bengals definitely improved from their preseason, so they're pretty decent defense. 62.5 run defense, 73.9 pass defense, which they're gonna need against Patrick Mahomes. Both of them actually. But you got Pacheco on the other side. You have Worthy who looked good. Rashid Rice, Travis Kelsey. Noah Gray had some things in there. Hollywood Brown has, I guess, been probably ruled out, be put it on the IR, so he will not be playing. I think he is going to be having shoulder surgery, so don't have to necessarily worry about that. So could Juju Smith-Schuster see some action? Potentially, but Patrick Mahomes, Rashid Rice stacked. That's very expensive. Mahomes 7K, Rashid Rice 6,700. Worthy's now getting up there at 6,100 because he had that 2 touchdown game. Isaiah Pacheco 6,900. So you're looking hugely stacked. We got KC at A. A obviously just because the stackability there is crazy. They are high, but I think they're probably going to be one of the highest scoring offenses this week. Bengals are going to probably be playing catch up, and if they can get their crap together and bring back, stop blaming. I've heard 700 excuses. Burrow's
Yeah.
good to go. Burrow's hurt. Burrow's this. Burrow's that. If we had all of his receivers, it's like to stop with the excuses. Just play some football and try to win some games. So if Burrow can start connecting with Jamar Chase and get on the same page. I don't think Higgins is playing. I do like Andre Yosevas there as a potential. He's coming in at 3,800, so he's basically the number two. So if Burrow can get going, and Kansas City did give up some good passes there, so I could see them. Burrow getting in a rhythm. So yeah,
Yeah.
I like this. I like this. We have Kansas City A tier, Bengals at D, but that's mainly because I guess Jamar Chase 7,800 and Burrow 6,300, so their salary is pretty high for that output. Um, it's very very risky.
Yep. I fully agree. I don't have much to add to that. I see Kansas City most likely pulling this one out. So Cincinnati will most likely be playing from behind. And as you mentioned, if Burrow can start connecting, with Chase, with T Higgins out, they just look completely different. They can double chase. They they can just do more.
Yeah.
Just do more. Coverage on him. So yeah, man, we're looking at a great week of football here. I'm definitely excited for week two, and looking to make that $1 million. So
Yeah, so make sure you hit that like, subscribe, show you the support here. So we're gonna go ahead and just do a quick little recap of our tiers here. We got three teams coming in at the A: Kansas City, Tampa Bay, and Washington. The B and the C tiers are pretty full up. Yeah. Kind of looks like we took the easy road out, but we put a lot of thought and effort into where the placements go here, and then you got the D tier, which could have some potential one-off players, and then the F tier, which you could find a one-off player, but you might want to sit this one out, and that's the Titans, Broncos, Panthers, and the Raiders. So with that, we are doing these Milli-makers. This is the first time we're doing these podcasts here for the Milli-makers. We've been around doing UFC, NBA fan duels, and NFL single game fan duels. So if you do like that, also hit that like and subscribe button and notification, because we will be dropping a FanDuel single game slate for the Monday night football matchup. And we just also, if you haven't already and it's not too late, go ahead and check out the video over here. It'll basically put you over into the UFC 306 matchup. So with that, let's make $1 million. And if I do make $1 million, yes.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Good luck to everyone out there. Hope to see you guys at the top of the leaderboard.